Hello everyone, my name is Isis Daniel and I am the Millennial Somm. Now I know I've been MIA for a while. It's been maybe about 2-3 weeks where I haven't been posting, but trust me, I have been super busy, like crazy busy. You know, I quit my job, got a new job, went through all the training as far as that's concerned, had my first wine tasting, which was amazing, and then also working on a whole bunch of new content for you guys, so keep an eye out. Let's start where it all began. I quit my job. Okay, so I was working at a restaurant for about 5 years, started off as a host, worked my way up all the way to supervisor, and there was a lot of tension within myself regarding being in that space. I fell in love with wine. I fell in love with the industry of wine. And for a while, I've been trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do in this wine world. But as I was having those questions within myself, I would go to work and feel like I was completely wasting my time. I think that every person, especially when you're young, when you start to discover interests that you fall in love with, you know, the life that you're living, you are often put in a position where you have to choose. Am I going to go all in? Or will I kind of have one foot in, one foot out? And I decided to go all in. An opportunity presented itself, an opportunity that a lot of my mentors were telling me I should have done a long time ago. And I took the offer. So right now I'm working at a wine bar and I'm getting all the experience I need in wine. Every day I go to work, I am tasting wines. Every day I go to work, I am learning more about wine. And that's exactly what I recommend any person who is interested in the wine industry. Go to a wine bar, apply, and learn as much as you can about wine. Get used to selling it, get used to all the flavors and aroma, everything that you can possibly learn, fully immerse yourself in that. And that's what I recommend for any person in any career that you are running after. If you find an opportunity where you can soak up as much information in one place, do it. Because every time I go to work, I am so happy. I am ecstatic that I get to be surrounded by what I love. And I also don't feel like I am wasting precious young time. All right, so I want to put that out there as just a motivation for you guys to go out there and go after your dreams. Because right now I am completely mind blown. I've only been in or pursuing this dream for about 8 months. In 8 months, my entire life has changed. My entire narrative has changed. And you know, leading up to me last Thursday having my first wine tasting, it was such a success. I was so proud, so happy that, you know, for all the people who came out, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much. I'm excited for this next go around. I'm planning another tasting in July, towards the end of July. It's going to be 2 days. So if you missed it, if you're in the DMV area and you missed the last tasting, you have to come to this next one because it was awesome. It was so awesome. You know, of course I made the slides, I created the lesson plan, and you know, but even with all of that knowledge that I was putting into it, people ask questions, people want more information, and I was just mind blown by how much I knew. And again, you know, I am the expert in what I am teaching, but at the same time, I'm still, once again, I'm 8 months in. 8 months, that's it. And I have taken so much time in my studies, so much time in my care and love for wine that I'm super proud of myself. I'm super proud of the people around me who have pushed me to 100% follow my dreams. And that's what I've been doing, y'all. So, y'all, we have a tasting coming up. We have 2 days if you're in the DMV area. One during the week, one on the weekend, so that everyone can attend. And then we also have some really, really cool content that's coming your way. I can't spill the beans just yet, but just know that I've been gone, but I've been thinking about you. Okay? All right, so not only are we here to give you an update, but we're here to taste some wine. So maybe like a week or two ago, you know, I'm at my job. Once again, I work at a wine bar. We change the wines often. And I got my hands on a white Merlot. Yes, white Merlot. Now, most people know. If you don't know, Merlots are typically red. I love Merlot. So a couple episodes ago, we were talking about my second best friend, and I was like, oh, I'll tell you who my first is. My first is Merlot, and when I had a white Merlot, my whole entire life was changed, okay? Like, I was so, like, impressed, couldn't believe that this was, like, it was a thing. I didn't even know white Merlots were a thing. So let's give a little bit of a lesson when it comes to the white and red grapes, right? So a lot of people who aren't familiar with wine think that red wine comes from a red grape and white wine comes from a white grape. And that's actually a misconception. It's not true at all. So it's just like people, where you have people with different sizes, colors, personalities, all of that. The same thing goes with grapes. Grapes come in different colors, different shapes, different skin thickness, different characteristics within the grape naturally. But just like all people bleed red blood, all grapes bleed white. So all wines are technically white wine. But the difference with red wine, during the fermentation process, there's contact from the skins with the wine during the fermentation process, okay? So what happens during that process, the color from the red grapes, like the skins, pardon me, they literally bleed into the wine, creating this beautiful color here, okay? Same thing goes with rosés. Rosé has some connection or some contact with the skins during the fermentation process, except for in the middle of the process, they stop it, take the skins out, and then continue the fermentation process. And that's why it's not a full red, it's more of a blush color. So just so you know, all wine bleeds the same color, which is white, okay? The wine that I had, the Merlot, the white Merlot I had, was actually from Switzerland. Today we have, our white wine is from New York, and I've never had this one before, so it should be super interesting. And then we have a typical Merlot from California here, okay? So with Merlot, they are what I like to categorize Merlots to be the cool chick, all right? Now, it's not like a Pinot Noir, which is, you know, super light tannins, high acidity, and like, you know, I would say like a Pinot Noir is the really, really mellow chick. You know what I mean? The mellow chick who's just like, yeah, I'm all good, I'm cool, right? Merlot is like, I'm cool, but I can still party, I can get it in when you want me to. But at the same time, I like to stay home, chill, watch Netflix. That's what I consider Merlot to be. She is medium tannin, medium acidity, tons of fruit flavor, but at the same time, just so easy to drink. Like, I'm just here, living my life. That's why I like Merlot. Not like a Cabernet. Cabernet has high tannins, high acidity, just high across the board, full body, totally extra, all over the place. That's how I would categorize a Cab. Merlot is one step down, all right? So if you know anything about Cabernet and Merlot, you know that they are always together, planted together. And the reason that is because they pair well. When they're blended together, Merlot allows Cabernet to be extra crazy and all wild, but she's still able to mellow it out just a tad, which is why I like to call them best friends. You know, Merlot is just that friend who's like, okay, yes, we can go hang out, we can turn it up, it can be fun, but I gotta work in the morning. That's Merlot. Cabernet is like, I'm partying for the next week and we gonna just see what happens tomorrow if I wake up. Cabernet is so extra, but love it just the same. So let's give a taste of these. So what are we expecting from a typical Merlot? From typical Merlot, we're expecting some black grapes. I said black grapes. So what are we expecting from a typical Merlot? We are expecting some blackberry, some plum, if there's some oak aging, maybe even some vanilla. So that's typically what we're gonna get from a Merlot. So let's see what our Trig Point, I believe this is called. Yep, Trig Point 2017 Merlot, Alexander Valley, which is in Sonoma Valley in California, right? Swish, swish. So what colors are we getting? So again, you always want to make sure that you have a white piece of paper. I recommend white paper with writing when you're dealing with red wine, okay? All right, so I would say that this is maybe like a ruby to garnet in color. And then there's also, I would say it's about medium. So you can see through this red, but it's not totally transparent, which is why I say medium. It's not so deep that you can't read the writing when you are placing that paper underneath with writing. So I would definitely say medium. I would go with like a medium garnet here. Okay, medium garnet. Yeah, I would say garnet. That's what I'm gonna go with. So let's see what we're getting on the nose. Ooh. So you're getting some spice in there. I'm not sure if that's like a plum or, yeah, I would say you're getting some plum, some spice. I'm not sure if I want to say like sweet tobacco. I think it might be a stretch. That's nice. So yeah, I would definitely say acidity is a little higher for this Merlot than typical Merlots. You definitely getting that plum. I wasn't sure if that was plum. It definitely is when you taste. Medium tannin. This is actually a pretty great Merlot, I would say. I actually really like this a lot. Interesting. Yep, so this Merlot, it tastes similar to what you would get from a Bordeaux, Merlot, or a Merlot from Bordeaux. But yeah, it's very mellow, tons of fruit flavor. Like that plum is very ripe. It's actually quite delicious. Like I would even say like cooked plum, if you will. And then yeah, you get, it has like a medium plus in acidity, higher than a typical Merlot, but the tannin really balances this wine out, I would say. But it's definitely true to a Merlot, medium tannin, not super sucking all the moisture out your mouth, so it's pretty good. Y'all, you know, I already told you I love Merlot. That's actually a really good Merlot. So now we are going to taste this Merlot here, Bridge Lane. Apparently it comes in a bottle, box, can, and a keg. Okay. But yeah, white Merlot from New York, 2018. Interesting. So it's it actually has like a little bit of information here on the back. So there's no content with oak, no contact with oak. Sweetness, it should be dry, style, light, fresh, and fruity. That's what it says. So we'll see what we get. All right, let's talk. Ooh, I always forget. I get straight into like tasting because I just want to drink it. But let's look at it first and see what we're seeing. All right. So it's very transparent, very light in color. It's like not a pale straw. It actually has like a really unique color. It's not. I'm gonna say pale straw, but there's just, it's like I don't know, it has like this slightly red tint to it. It's definitely a white wine, but it just has, maybe I should say gold, like a pale gold. I'll say that, but it slightly has like a little touch of red to it that I've never really seen in a white before, this pale in color. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so it's all you get is like fruit. Interesting. So I am still getting like that common, the plum is still present in there, but it's way more jammy in smell. So this wine is very subtle, not very complex. Acidity, medium. Obviously no tannin because there was no contact with the skins with this wine. Yeah, I don't like this one. It's very dull, you know, so there are some fruit flavors that come out. You do get that plum. You get plum, you get apple, you get pear. But it's not very round, not fully enjoyable. So that wine, that white Merlot for Switzerland, let me tell you, I might need to buy it and just get you guys to see it and taste it online with you guys, because it was phenomenal. This, it does not hold a candle to it. Sorry, but it just doesn't. It's not. I would compare this to a Pinot Grigio. All right, very, very subtle flavors, not a long finish, leaves a little to be desired. You know, Pinot Grigio, I love Pinot Grigio. I'm not saying this to throw shade. Pinot Grigio is an easy drinking wine. You really can't go wrong. But when you're drinking Pinot Grigio, you're not really expecting to get a whole bunch from the flavors and aromas and experience. It's just an easy drinking wine, easy drinking varietal. This Merlot is just, it's a little underwhelming. Like, it leaves, like, I want more from this and I wouldn't buy it again. I feel like I'm missing out on an experience with this wine, so. I had hope. Yeah, it's just, it's such a short finish. Like it lasts 2 seconds. You think it's gonna do something else, and then it's like, nah, give up. Come on, y'all. We gotta do better than that. But yeah. So out of the two, which one do I prefer? I would prefer the Trig Point. It is very much a typical Merlot. Can't go wrong with this one. A little higher in acidity, so definitely if you're eating any foods that are high acidic, this one may be able to stand a chance against it. What's the rule? When you're eating foods with high acidity, you need wine that has just as high, if not higher, in acidity, because the wine will make the food, or excuse me, the wine, switch it. The food will make the wine taste less acidic, and will also make the wine taste less dramatic. It'll make it be a little dull. So that's why you need it to be higher so that it can stand the rain. I like this Trig Point. I think it's phenomenal. It's very classic, easy to drink, totally how a Merlot is supposed to taste. So, good job. Because I will say, California, I never know what to, I know what to expect from a California wine. They're usually so over the top, so extra, and I typically cannot stand wine from California. It's just like, it's so American. You know how Americans, we are just so over the top. We go to other countries and they're like, okay, chill out. That's how I feel about wines from California. But this one, they did a good job. I'm very pleased. And I get a little vanilla in this. Just like it just hit me. A little vanilla, a little spice. It's good. It's very subtle. The spice is very subtle, but I like that one. All right, you guys. So I am going to start to head out, but I definitely want to say thank you guys for coming back. I will be back every Thursday tasting wines with you, and on Saturday I should be coming out with another video to give you honest updates on what's to expect. We have some cool raffles, cool things coming up. I can't speak too much on it, but know that it's coming your way. It's going to be super fun. Thank you so much for joining the Millennial Somm on this wonderful journey I am on. But again, guys, if you have any dreams, anything that you want to do, go all in. All right? Full throttle. Jump in with your feet. Yeah, sorry. But yes, jump all in. Do your dreams. Follow your dreams at any cost. You need to make sure that you are doing what you need to do. And you know what you need to do. Okay? Thank you so much. This is the Millennial Somm. We're tasting some Merlots. And I will catch you next time.